smash the like button, and subscribe. Only send a guest request if you did vote for Donald Trump. Happy Pride Month, October's. Thank you for the $10. Thank you. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Yo, I'm 20 years old.
What's your birth year?
2005.
Did you vote for Donald Trump?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Why so?
Well, Donald Trump is the bad guy. You know, he's a villain. He does whatever he wants. He doesn't care. Doesn't follow rules. He's a felon. And honestly, we don't see the villain win enough, you know? And I'm racist, so I'll just throw that in there too.
Okay, we're just gonna kick them out. I'm pretty sure they were trolling. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
I'm 22.
Did you vote for Donald Trump?
Yes.
What's your birth year?
2003,
What month?
March.
Okay. All right. Why'd you vote for Donald Trump?
I actually wanted to speak to you about the Israel conflict. I want to know your thoughts on that.
Dude, I don't know if I actually don't know if you're old enough. Are you 23? I'm 23, dude.
I'm 22.
22? Wouldn't you be 20? Wait. Yeah, you would be 22. I'm tripping, bro. If you don't want to talk to me about the topic, I'll go on to the next person then.
Wait, you don't want to talk to me on the Israel conflict? I want to know your opinions.
Is that the reason why you voted for Donald Trump?
It's one of the reasons, but I really wanted to hear your thoughts on it.
I'm sorry. You sound young. Maybe it's me. I don't know. I'm super untrusting right now. Oh my god, I'm so bad. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Hey, 19.
Did you vote for Donald Trump?
Yes.
Okay, what's your birth year?
December 12th, 2005.
Okay. Why'd you vote for Donald Trump?
Mainly abortion.
Okay. What about abortion?
I just think that there's no way to, like, justify it, or, like, I don't think there's any argument for it being moral.
Why do I feel like you're trolling?
I'm not, I promise. I have the whole argument laid out in front of me.
Okay, all right, go ahead. Go through it.
Okay, so, sorry, I'm nervous. Okay, so the main thing I hear you guys talking about is sentience. So I guess my first question would be, or like, I don't know, my first reason would be, if that's the case, then why, are you vegan?
I'm not, but I would like to be in the future. Something similar to
Okay.
it. Not fully, like, I mean, I have my disagreements with, like, using the term vegan and
Yeah.
stuff, but yeah, in typical sense, I do have value that I place upon animals, morally.
Okay, because, like, mammals are sentient, and, like,
Mhm.
I don't understand how you wouldn't be adhering, like, if that's what you're going off of, why aren't you adhering to being vegan now? Because in your point of view, you're
Well,
literally
I
eating.
have disagreements with the particular perspective, because it is going to be the case that even if you are going to do plant-based diet, if you eat above the point of the necessary level of caloric intake to survive, well, then that's going to be above the point, which is causing an unnecessary level of like animal death because of like agricultural crops and stuff like that. But the thing is, I do think that we have value that we place upon animals in typical conventional situations. So it's going to be
So,
valued in a different way. So I do have a conjunction within the context of abortion that wouldn't make this conversation relevant to the topic. Like I have a
okay.
conjunction of human plus sentient.
Okay, so, like, sapience plus sentience is what you're going to
Yeah,
value.
human plus sentient. So human plus
Okay.
past or present and future subjective experience.
Okay. That's good for that. And then my other question, I concede to that point. That makes sense. And then I was just on Dean's Live, and you guys were talking about. I just am really confused with the drunk driving analogy. Like, if you're talking about, okay, if you get T-boned, obviously that's not your fault. But couldn't I, from the exact other perspective, say, well, if you're the one driving the car, you're at fault for killing the person, and you have to take responsibility for that.
Oh, okay. So obviously you would say that in that context, but they would say like in typical conventional circumstances, if it's not directly related to something that you did, you wouldn't particularly have responsibility for it. So typically I would say that like you can argue for causal obligation all you want. I just don't consider it valuable at the point of conception or prior to sentience. And I would ask you why you do.
Wait, sorry, I don't understand. Can you repeat that?
The disagreement we're gonna have is based upon where we place value.
Okay. And so, because I know you don't agree with Dean at conception, so where do you think, like, personhood or, like, human life starts, I guess?
I believe human life starts at conception, but my view is that I
Yeah.
don't value it until the point of past or present and future subjective experience, which is 20 to 24 weeks in the womb.
Okay. So then couldn't I just say that that analogy that you guys brought up isn't analogous to pregnancy?
So he was comparing in a different sense
Okay.
because the person had a specific view. So it wasn't necessarily related to every person who, is like arguing from the pro-life standpoint. It was just that specific based upon
Okay.
like what they were arguing. So like what are
Okay.
your convictions? What are the reasons why you're pro-life, and how does that relate to you voting for Donald Trump?
Yeah, I just think that because, like, if you had, like, even if I'm discluding like grape or anything like that, but if you have like even though you're not, I guess, like biologically consenting to whatever, like it's not like you can control conception to occur, but you still understand the risk involved, and it's like the only risk of like the only potential risk of that is pregnancy, and like it's like
That's
the
not
only
the, that's the only potential risk, but
okay, well, like other than I guess STDs, but I guess
there's other.
okay.
But like the point that we would see to be relevant in this context is whether or not we see it to be morally valuable at the point of conception. That's going to be my question to you. Why do you see it to be morally valuable at the point of conception?
Because it's like on track to becoming a life, or like to becoming.
It is a life already. It's at conception.
I know, on track to becoming sentient.
Okay, so anything that's on track to becoming sentient, you would consider valuable.
Past the point of conception, yeah.
Why just past the point of conception? You're
Because
adding
that's
so that's two qualifiers you're acquiring, correct?
correct.
Okay, so
Because
why?
that
So it's life plus future subjective experience, correct?
correct.
Okay, so within a set of condition, if there is life, cellular life, plus a future subjective experience from that set of condition, you would consider it valuable, correct? Like saying it's natural circumstances.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
0.1 second prior to conception, why wasn't it considered valuable? The sperm is living, and there's a future subjective experience. It's on track. 0.1
Yeah, it's
second
because
prior to
the
conception, why don't you value it?
It's because the conception hasn't occurred. The line I'm drawing is at conception
Why?
because that's
Why?
when-
Because the same set of criteria that you mentioned, cellular life, right, within the condition, and a future subjective experience within the condition from that natural set of circumstances is what you consider to be valuable. That same set of criteria existed 0.1 second prior to the point of conception, specifically with the sperm cell, right, and it being on track to fertilize the egg, right, and on the natural process to lead to subjective experience in the future, because it's the same set of life.
right.
It's
Well,
just like a few seconds prior.
right, but like cellular life, I'm saying I'm drawing the line at conception because there's a distinct moment where where the egg and the sperm meet, and that's when like that's when everything happens. I understand, like if I'm just saying, sorry, I should have rephrased it because just cellular life doesn't make sense because like then I'm valuing like germs, like whatever. That's not what I mean. I'm saying when the egg and the sperm meet, that is the distinct point when it is like when it's 100% like on track to becoming sentient.
It was prior, but it seems like you're not understanding this point, so I'll move to a different one. Do you think that it's murder for women to utilize IUD?
No.
Well, even though not only can it prevent fertilization, but it can also prevent implantation, meaning it's preventing a fertilized egg at conception from implanting into uterine wall, therefore killing that fertilized egg.
Wait, so conception does occur?
Yeah, in some circumstances. If it fails, right, the preventing of fertilization, it can also prevent implantation, and that would be after the point of conception.
So then
Please
can
go
I
on
just
again.
draw the line? So then can I just draw the line at implantation and say that that's when I
Well then,
Like,
well,
can I
then,
just-
then I'll ask you. Then I'll address this with you. The only distinction after implantation and prior to implantation, right, is the location of the zygote. So nothing changes
crucial.
about the entity's qualities. It's just the location of it. That's no different than a pro-choicer arguing that once it's birthed and it's outside of the body, a difference in location, that it's more valuable then, or that it then gains right. Does it make sense?
Yeah, I don't know. I think that I understand that, but I think the location is more crucial when we're talking about the actual development of the potential fetus versus just like location of where someone is at any given moment once they're born. Like that's not I think in this specific because pregnancy is such a like individual specific circumstance, I think we would consider like location as a way more distinct point than at any other like in any other circumstance.
I don't know what you mean. Like,
Okay, so-
why is location relevant to an entity's value? Because the entity didn't change in its qualities; it just changed in its location. Why is
I think-
location
I think
a
the
relevant
change-
factor?
Because I think the change of location during that time period is inherently what gives it its value.
Yeah, I know you're saying the change in location grants the value. I'm asking why.
Yeah. Because that's when the implantation occurs. So that's like I don't know how exactly to put it. Like that's when
That's like
everything
someone saying that it's valuable once it's birthed because that's when birth happens.
But that's not true because I'm granting the exception of pregnancy. I'm saying because pregnancy is a unique experience, you can't compare it to
Because birth is a
What's
unique
it?
experience. I'm confused how you're
Oh.
making a relevant distinction.
Wait, I get what you're saying. Okay, Loki, that makes sense. Okay. Well, I'm gonna think about that.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Appreciate you coming. All right, let's go on to the next person. Only send a guest request if you did vote for Donald Trump. You know what? I actually really appreciate that response. I think that was a good response. It feels like a genuine convo. So like, props to her. Props to her. Really appreciate that dialogue. Going to the next person real quick. Only send a guest request if you did vote for Donald Trump. I think it's really important to give praise to responses that are good, and I think that was a good response, and to go and reflect upon things. And I just wanted to give that praise. Yo, what's up, How old are you? Parker, why is it so zoomed into your face?
Hi, can you hear me?
Oh my gosh, I kicked you right as you said that. So make sure to send another guest request back, and I might see you in the guest box. I'm so sorry. What was I just responding to? Oh, I'm so close. That's just how TikTok works. The camera is just like, I have it zoomed out as far as possible, and it still just looks like this on TikTok. Yo, what's up, how old are you?
18.
Did you vote for Donald Trump?
Yep.
Why so?
Well, I think he has a good border patrol, and sorry,
How old are you again? Sorry?
I'm 18.
And what's your birth year?
May. Oh, I thought you were saying month. 2007.
May 2007. You voted for Donald Trump, correct?
No,
Okay. You support him though?
but I would have. Yeah.
And so what day in May?
26.
Oh, I guess it doesn't matter. We're in June. Go ahead, finish.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to ask you, what's your position on the border control and just your thoughts on that?
Okay. About like the border. Well, what should we do with the border? Undocumented immigrants who are in the country who have not committed violent crimes or bad crimes should be given a pathway to citizenship. Right. We should make the legal process go significantly faster. So it takes a while for people, or it doesn't take a long time for people to get in the country, and it's quick for people to get into the country. Immigration is amazing. It's a great aspect of this economy. Obviously, if someone's committed a violent crime or a bad crime, we wouldn't want them in the country. And we also wouldn't want them, running the president of the United States as well. Right. But you voted a guy in, held civilly liable of sexually abusing a woman, that pardoned people who pled guilty and admitted to violently assaulting police officers on January 6th. So, like, who really is releasing the violent criminals in the country? Is it the Democrats or is it the Republicans? Because clearly, to me, it sounds like intentionally Donald Trump did that because he intentionally pardoned those particular individuals. Otherwise, it's someone else determining the pardons, and Donald Trump's taking a back seat, right? And he's not actually doing the position of presidency, right?
I mean, I see what you're saying. I just don't agree.
What do you not agree with? And why don't you agree with that?
Wow, this is tough. Well, here's a question I have for you. One sec. You can just skip me. It's fine.
You're fine. Go ahead. They left. Okay. All right. Don't worry, man. Go to the next person. Only send a guest request if you did vote for Donald Trump. Yo, what's up, how old are you?
38.
Did you vote for Donald Trump?
I did not, but I wanted to say that you're doing an awesome job, Parker, and I hope one day that you eventually think about running for Congress or some type of elected office. And I definitely got connections to help you become successful here and stuff. So I just hope you think about doing that later on in life.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much for coming up. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Love you, dude.
Appreciate it. Thank you.